Coming up on Good Morning Chattanooga, the special election in Georgia took a surprising turn of events, the results, and what counties struggled getting votes counted.
Plus, an elderly man's body is found at Orange Grove. We'll tell you why police are calling it suspicious.
Thank you so much for joining us on Good Morning Chattanooga. I'm Jessica Harthorn.
And I'm Greg Funderburg. Thank you so much for waking up with us on this Wednesday, April 19th, 2017. Let's get straight to meteorologist Brian Smith for a look at your Storm Track 9 forecast. Good morning, Brian.
Hi, good morning to you guys, and a good Wednesday morning, everyone. Not nearly as wet as it was yesterday morning. We still have wet roadways and patchy fog, but the showers and storms that greeted us during rush hour, all that is not there this morning. Good news, but we are mild and we're humid too. Most locations into the 50s and the low 60s. And speaking of humid, well, the dew point today, what range is it in? Well, we're into the 60s, so that is the sticky category. We've been noticing that over the last couple of days. Still grab the umbrella. Can't rule out an isolated shower this morning and a few more popping up this afternoon, but also a little more sunshine today too, which will have us in the upper 70s and the low 80s. So less rain today, but some scattered storms return by Friday and especially Saturday night with a brief cool down this weekend. We'll discuss it all in your full forecast in just a few minutes, guys.
And happening right now, an Amber Alert is issued for a missing Georgia girl. Araceli Jimenez Vasquez is 12 years old. Take a good look at this photo here. She has brown hair and brown eyes and was last seen in Atlanta, Georgia. Police believe she was taken by 32-year-old Armando Aguilera. Now, they are possibly driving a white 2009 Ford Econoline. The license plate number is QFD5854. Police believe the child is in extreme danger.
We now know the name of the man found dead in an Orange Grove Center van.
Brandon Evans is live right now following the story. So, Brandon, tell us, what have you been able to find out this morning?
Well, good morning, Greg and Jessica here at Orange Grove Center, and here's what we know at this time. Orange Grove officials say a staff member picked up 60-year-old Carrie Lee Parkey around 8 o'clock yesterday morning, and then 7 hours later, his body was found inside one of those vans. We know a staff member found the body and called 911. When police arrived on the scene, they said they didn't find any major injuries visible on the body, but because of the suspicious way the body was found, they are going to have the Hamilton County Medical Examiner's Office perform an autopsy. Now, we caught up with officials from Orange Grove Center, and here's what they had to say.
Obviously, this is very difficult for all of us, and we're very, all of us are very upset, and we will all grieve over the loss of this individual.
Orange Grove officials say that Parkey had been here at Orange Grove Center for quite some time, since the 70s, as far as we know. Now, there's going to be a lot more involved in this case once we get results from that autopsy. But until then, more questions than answers at this time. Reporting outside the Orange Grove Center, I'm Brandon Evans for Good Morning Chattanooga.
And moving now to the special election in Georgia, making national headlines and even getting the president's attention. The election that's become a kind of referendum on President Donald Trump is now heading for a runoff in June. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest.
Democrats hoped for a knockout in the battle royale over Georgia's 6th congressional district, looking for the 1-2 punch to take the long Republican-held seat and offer a sign of strength among voters who oppose President Trump.
When President Trump embarrasses our country or acts recklessly, I'll hold him accountable. But
young Democrat Jon Ossoff came up short against a splintered GOP field, failing to reach the 50% threshold to win the 18-candidate primary outright, now headed for a June runoff against leading Republican Karen Handel.
I'm running for Congress because we need to have someone in Congress who is going to be serious about getting the job done.
President Trump offered his support, raging on Twitter that Ossoff would be a disaster in Congress, and recording this phone message.
Liberal Democrats from outside of Georgia are spending millions and millions of dollars trying to take your Republican congressional seat away from you. Don't let them do it.
Ossoff's Make Trump Furious campaign fired up the president's critics. Records show Democrats from out of state poured in $8 million worth of support. And overnight, the president taking credit for Ossoff's marginal loss, tweeting, "Despite major outside money, fake media support, and 11 Republican candidates, big R win with runoff in Georgia. Glad to be of help." But the 30-year-old former congressional aide is already looking ahead to June.
let's
show what people power is all about.
Numbers overnight showed the leading Republican, Karen Handel, with just under 20% of the vote. Ossoff had just over 48%, more than the leading 4 Republicans combined. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
And this seat has been held by Republicans since 1979.
Chattanooga's new city council says their first priority is to find a new police chief. Chief Fred Fletcher is leaving on July 6th. He pointed out some of the top officers at city council.
To your left up there, Assistant Chief Eric Tucker, if he'll stand up for you guys, who is the Chief of Neighborhood Policing. And over to the right is Chief of Staff and Deputy Chief David Roddy. But they're both men from Chattanooga, and between them they have just about 50 years of police experience.
The council also approved all of Mayor Andy Burke's appointments for the next 4 years.
Happening today, Jonathan Walker is expected in a Hamilton County courtroom. The judge is expected to rule on motions and possibly set a trial date. Last month, Walker pled not guilty to charges, including 6 counts of vehicular homicide after the Woodmore school bus crash. Walker's attorney has filed a motion to have the jury brought in from out of town. A bill designed to help keep tragedies like the one that happened with the Woodmore bus crash is advancing. The bill would put seat belts on new school buses across the state. It passed another hurdle yesterday and moves on to the Government Operations Committee. We talked to the bill's sponsor, Joanne Favors, about the bill's chances of surviving to become a law. She says concerns over what it would cost may not be as much of a problem now.
I feel that people love children, and I feel that the legislators in this General Assembly want to do what is best for the children. So I am not going to feel that it's being done just to delay anything. I hope that it isn't, but I don't think that it is.
If the bill passes government operations, it will go through at least 2 other committees before it reaches the full House. And also this morning in Idaho, a school bus overturned, sending 12 students to the hospital. Police say their injuries don't appear to be life-threatening. They say the driver went over the shoulder and then overcorrected. The bus had 39 students and 2 coaches on board. They were heading to a track meet. Idaho State Police are investigating the crash at this hour. The state does not require seatbelts on school buses.
The man charged with starting the fire that led to the partial collapse of a major Atlanta interstate is granted bond. Basil Ellaby appeared in court yesterday, where a judge granted him a $10,000 signature bond. Authorities say that he set fire to a chair under a bridge on I-85 last month. His attorneys say that state transportation authorities are to blame for leaving materials under the bridge for years. Now, under the terms of his bond, he has to admit himself to a treatment facility. He's also banned from the scene of the fire unless he's with his lawyers.
And Chattanooga ranks 84th for the most polluted city in the nation for ozone. That's according to the American Lung Association. Despite continued improvement in U.S. air quality, local people are still at risk for health effects. Now, the report also says Chattanooga has earned overall passing grades for the 3 most common forms of hazardous air pollution. Time now 6:38, and let's take a live look at your exclusive traffic tracker. There is a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane in Chattanooga. This is Highway 153 northbound. This is at the Chickamauga Dam at this hour.
Let's take a live look now at your morning commute at 24 McBrien Road. Smooth sailing on this Wednesday morning. An asteroid will pass by Earth tomorrow.
How big it is and when the last one of this size came close to Earth.